Hi folks, it's that time again. It's another TalkShop TV, myself and Vitto. It's nearly VE Day, so I thought I'd look a bit VE Day like.
And I put a tie on.
So it's all very statesman-like here. We're getting fatter and hairier, except Vito's had a homemade haircut, which is looking quite snazzy. So there we go, eh? So we're all ready for the long weekend, I think, and hopefully, you will get a bit of a break from things as well, and we celebrate the sunshine in a socially distanced way as we have to. So hope you're all doing well. Hope you and your families and your loved ones are all doing well, and hope this is reaching you safely. What we wanted to do today was more give you a clear understanding of our intentions, both for you and for the business. So I wanted to talk a bit about that and set that out a bit more clearly, and then give you a few more general updates on things that are happening. I think, in a sense, all eyes are coming now onto what Boris Johnson is scheduled to say to us all on Sunday as a nation, and then what's expected of us as a business in terms of how we're expected to ramp up and get networks back to an increased level, and we honour our role of keeping key workers and getting the nation back on its feet again. So for you, our colleagues, I think we're keen for you to understand. We really want to and need to ramp up services so we can restore the business as quickly as we can, and as soon as lockdown is reduced. We want to make sure that buses see that it's a viable and safe choice for people to travel around. That means probably an element of providing some level of overcapacity and trusting on some effective self-compliant social distancing on board. I think that's our preference. I think there may be some regulation that may come in that may force us to. I think we have a bit of a concern about that, because we're very keen that you as colleagues don't have to be policed that. We also really don't want the image of our buses to look like a crime scene with notices and information everywhere. I think it's clear we have to do more communication to customers to help you manage that situation out there. And we've already started work on that, and we've already got delivery scheduled of vinyls and notices for buses, for bus stations and for workplaces scheduled next week. I think all that's about how we can encourage people to change their behaviour and be clear about what's expected from them when they travel. Also, that helps you do your jobs effectively when you're out there. I think what's clear, what we want to make clear, is that when you hear the government tell the country what's happening, we're probably hearing at the same time as you. So while we've been deeply involved in the thinking, and we'll be doing our best to influence the thinking, we don't have a magic date that we know about, that you don't know about. We don't know the true intentions of plans. We've seen leaked stuff, as I'm sure you have as well. But I think nobody can say for certain what is happening until we're told on Sunday. So that's why, while I'm trying to make it clear to you in terms of what our intentions are and what our preferences are and what we're working towards, it's still difficult to give clear dates around that and time place. I think one thing we have to expect is that the workplace is likely to look a bit different, and we'll have to change our behaviours, at least in the short term and medium term. This may mean such things as extra temporary facilities for you to enjoy your breaks, because the rooms that we currently provide are likely to be too small. Those of you who are at work will have noticed we've already done things like remove chairs and encourage people to space out. But we know in some of our locations, that will be difficult to maintain that level of social distancing with the facilities we've got. So again, we'd ask you to bear with us on that. We will provide the facilities; they will be temporary, but again, we will be working at an accelerated pace, and this is all new to us as to how you react to something like this. So we haven't had a dress rehearsal at this game. I think as well with that movement in garages is about movement in the garages and workplaces and offices, and in the workshops. Will all be quite different as well. And again, you know, we've already had some thoughts about how we do that. And again, much of that is reliant on us asking you to behave in certain ways and asking you to move and position yourselves in certain places, and then trusting you to look after each other in that way. It's likely some people may have to continue working from home to give us the space to operate. And these are all factors, you know, that we will continue to work through. The priority remains, it's about keeping you safe. It's about keeping you informed as clearly and as often as we can. We can do that when we have some more clear direction from government as to what's expected from us. And obviously, the priority then beyond that is how we keep us all in safe, comfortable jobs, and we can carry on coming to work, and we can carry on having a business that we're all proud to work for. Vitto, is there any more detail that you want to add to that?
Yeah, sure. So I think the social distancing thing is obviously going to be one of the most important things moving forward. So and that applies to all of us. So whether we're working in an office and how we sit and how we interact with our colleagues, or whether or not we're engineers in the garage, our mess facilities, where we clock on, where we clock off, every area that we sort of congregate in, that we have contact with, we have to consider. So this week we've took some steps in the depots. You'll have seen some new messages, around the canteens. We've removed more seating. We've defined floor spaces out more to see what our sort of theoretical capacities are. We've changed the way that our duty managers hand over shift boards. We've introduced new cleaning measures, sort of equipment that we're sharing between people. We've looked in the engineering facilities, and again, it's I suppose one thing, it's new to us all, and we've all got to work together and find a common ground that enables us to do our job effectively and safely. So there's new messages out, there's some new posters out. You'll see, keep your 2 meters distance, use the sanitizer, use the wash stations that we've put in where we've put those in. In our public areas, so bus stations, we've had to review how they work. So coming next week, there'll be new floor markings. We'll have looked at public seating, minimise the capacity, to make sure that people can't congregate in those areas. And I suppose health and safety, everyone says it starts with the person, and I guess that's true. So we need everyone here to follow the rules, help each other, advise each other. If you see something that's not right, tell us. I'm sure we will have missed areas and not, but if there's something that you think we should do extra, let us know. And it will only become more difficult once more colleagues come back to work. So, the people that come, rest assured, we'll make it safe. We're doing everything we can to protect everyone here. But as more people come in, we probably need to think about things differently. So any suggestions, drop either of us an email, come and see us, tell your general manager, tell your engineering manager, your shift leader, just let us know.
Great. Yeah, and again, in everything we do, the things that we do best is when we work together, so that's what we want to carry on doing. I think then just moving to the company, the organisation, just to let you know in terms of how we're performing and what our intentions are in terms of business planning and so on. So in the last business period we reported, which was essentially a bit of March and a bit of April, 4 weeks covering sort of those stretch of those 2 months. As a business, we managed to break even, which I think is an important milestone and a bit of a minor miracle in the circumstances. I think that is comfortable. It's obviously nothing like what our performance generally would be at this time of year, but again, we're not in a position where we've got more money leaving the company than coming in, and I think that's important, just to reassure in terms of our foundation. And as Mark outlined 2 weeks ago, the cash position in terms of the security of the business, just as Blazefield, is secure. And we have got that strong foundation moving forward. So I think, that hopefully gives you a message of confidence into terms of, our ability to progress. I think, as we said, the difficult times ahead remain. In effect, we're being supported financially by government to run a big tendered network. The challenge will come as we ramp up. And I think, given that it's unlikely that customers won't return to buses in the same volumes as they did previously, quickly at least. We feel that we do need that level of financial support still from government to provide a level of overcapacity within the network, so when people do come back to buses, they can effectively space themselves out on board. And obviously there isn't enough people travelling to support a completely commercial, profitable, sustainable network in that way. I think we trust that as measures become more relaxed, people will become more confident in public transport, as they'll become confident in all sorts of things that I'm sure they're not supremely comfortable at doing about now. And then the market should return, but it will be slow, and we are keen that we still get a level of assistance in getting through that. So far, we're getting that level of support from government, because of the critical role that we're providing for key workers and keeping people connected. So it will be a real about turn for this approach that we're benefiting from to change. And so we're going to continue on lobbying and proving the role that we're playing here in our communities and across the country as a bus industry, to make sure we get that support, so we have a successful industry coming out of this. I think beyond that, the work locally is important as well. I think I mentioned last time about there are some positives coming out of this terrible situation. We've demonstrated the improvement in air quality with less cars on the road. We've developed, you look around towns and cities now, and the ability for towns and cities to operate more freely without congestion is reminds you that the towns and cities can be nice places. And I think we really want to make sure that this is a bit of an opportunity to get more road space for buses, and for active travel. There's been lots of talk about where cycling and walking comes into this. We have to make sure buses are part of that same conversation, because we are moving people effectively, and we're doing it in a very environmentally and sustainable and non-congestible way. Non-congested way, I don't know how you say that. Anyway, I don't have to say that often. But yeah, it's I wish I didn't have to say not congested very often. But now is a good time to sort of work with employers, town centres, to make that switch, get people to move to buses while they're reconsidering their travel options, giving them the confidence to do that in how we communicate that and how we make people feel when they come and use us. And we really want people and businesses to understand that buses can be the solution to get people back to work. We want town centres to see buses as the things that can get people back into towns and get back into shopping and back into leisure, so we can then support those businesses. And we've had some really good conversations already so far with some of our town centres. You'll also see us doing a big market research exercise to understand more what customers as individuals want to see from us, and what businesses, what we can do to support businesses as they start their own rehabilitation projects to get moving and get active again. I think there's other things that help us in that, and the style of the way we do business. Our bus design with people all facing forwards helps. We're very strict. When we all of our newest buses, all seats are facing forward. I think that's a thing that's being discussed at the moment about how the specification layout of buses works to help support social distancing and the ability for people to not spread any illnesses or so on. I think, you know, the way that we, you know, do not cram seats in, and the way that we generally provide frequency over expecting people to stand on buses is things that all generally help how we do things. You know, we've long provided cleaners in bus stations before this happened. I think you can expect us to see and do more of that. And again, that's something that we know will give people confidence. And there's all the things that we mentioned earlier that are there to support you, that will, by their nature, support customers too, in how we communicate to customers and make them feel safe. So next week, you know, following what we hear from the Prime Minister, I think our plan is that we will have, we've got calls set up with the trade unions on Monday. We're keen that we set out our reaction and our plans to you on Monday. We'd encourage you to sign up to WhatsApp, to all the groups, sign up to the app, and notices as well. And I'm sure another episode of TalkShop TV won't be far around the corner as well. But as soon as we know things, you know, we will start to communicate that quite quickly and set out those plans quite quickly. Is there anything else we've missed for the moment?
I don't think that covers everything.
Yeah, hopefully it does. Again, huge thank you to everybody out there again, and thank you to those supporting you. Thanks to those who have come into work. Thanks to you who are helping us by sitting at home. Thanks to those of you who are working at home. You know, we're getting through this spectacularly well. We're doing it quickly. We're doing it well. You know, we're showing so many best practices and how we're dealing with it. And I think what's great about that is we're doing that just by, you know, acting naturally and doing how we do things as a company and as a collective group of people. So hopefully you'll find some time to enjoy the weekend, find some time to relax. We'll be back very soon with more communications as things change, and we look forward to working together in getting through that, and bringing some more normality back. But thanks very much for what you do in the meantime.
Thank you.